So anyway, so I knew that joke, and why I talked about the foreskin thing and then told that joke at the same thing, and then Stephen Fry doing it. Hey, it's either an amazing coincidence or I did watch that and somehow link the two things together. But I highly recommend. Why we don't have programs like that in the United States, it's probably because we're all idiots. But we really don't appreciate culture and just everyday things. Like, one of my favorite books is by a man called Bill Bryson, called, I believe it was called Notes from a Small Island. And it's about an American living in Great Britain. And he talked about how you go to an art museum. He went to an art museum and he saw clearly a very working class man with his son discussing a painting. And he said that's sort of the thing you never really see in the United States, but you see that sort of thing all the time in Britain and maybe Europe in general. For some reason, having an interest in culture is seen as uncool, you know, in the United States. Besides, speaking of culture, I'm drinking out of my Edward Hopper mug, okay? And this is one of his paintings called The Nighthawks. And it's been spoofed where the people at the counter are Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley and all that. But this is a rendition of the original Nighthawks by Edward Hopper, and a very important American artist. I guess he started in the 30s. His dates around from the 30s and the 40s. And I didn't do any research before I came on, but I can recognize a few Edward Hopper paintings, but that's his most famous one. So anyway, Bill Bryson wrote about that. And QI is like a regular TV show over there. You know, it's like a game show. I mean, the closest we probably have is Jeopardy, but Jeopardy is just so dry. And, you know, QI is just funny and entertaining, and you end up learning a thing or two. And so when Bobo McGraw watched this on Stephen Fry with QI, he said, apparently David wanted to marry some girl, but her father demanded 100 Gentile foreskins as payment. So he got the 100 and then went ahead and got 100 more for whatever reason. See, the Bible's filled with stories like that. I mean, the most common one is bring me the head of John the Baptist, you know, because this king wanted to see this woman's daughter do a seductive dance. Probably, I think one version is she's naked, but he wanted to see this young woman do a dance for him. And the woman's mother said, yeah, she'll dance for you, but first you got to bring us the head of John the Baptist for whatever reason. He pissed her off or something. I don't know. Anyway, and your Rainbow commented again. Great post. Hope to see you next week. Yeah, okay, I'm here. Happy Fluke made a comment on my hair. He said I look like a 60s or 70s California dude to him. That's without the fez. Look, I am truly going bald. But that is without the fez and without the glasses. But even though I'm a Southern Californian, I'm really not a beach person. I burn too easily. But when I was a teenager, I tried. When swimming in the ocean and all that. Never quite learned how to surf, though. And Happy Fluke said this Fez, where I'm reading the comments, reminds him of the old original Fez nights where I used to come on and welcome my new subscribers. And I would visit channels and talk about different people on YouTube and stuff. And then YouTube wrecked it for me. And Kool-Aid Girls understands when I was talking about I'm tired of having these arguments over and over again because I get tired of repeating myself. She says, yep, YouTubers like to rehash. Well, it's their hash, but our rehash. Being a seasoned tuber, glad you posted a Fez. Thank you. And this is where Ruddle Girl says, can you introduce the next Fez night singing a 50s song? Okay, but no more. I want to sing Brian Eno next week. Oh, I do have a fondness for some of those songs, but those songs are so... I know I like a poppy song, but they were such a different era. They sang a lot about broken hearts and very... I don't know. I guess times were more romantic back then. Yeah, a simpler time. Mahabahazahazari says it's a love-hate on government, which is normal for any power structure. I get tired of the redistributing wealth charge that they are throwing at the president. Oh, I agree with that. Last I checked, he isn't sacking any trust funds, only going after people's labor revenue, which they raise prices for the additional operating costs. So he borrows from the rich and makes consumers, including myself, pay them back. Yay. Yeah, and economics isn't my strong suit. I know there's stuff that feels unfair. None of us wants to pay, and we want everything for free. Quickie Fez got my morning started right. Now to beat the paternity test. Seriously, are you trying to beat a paternity test? That's funny. Corkbender. Oh, this is great. Corkbender said, fun Fez facts for friends and fans of the Fez. Oh, and I really like this. Thank you, Corkbender. I'll take things created by the government for $1,000, Alex. Speaking of Jeopardy. Answer: the internet. Okay, besides the atom bomb, which I always talk about, and landing on the moon, the internet was started by the government. Now, how do you just say the government fails at everything? Private enterprise? Oh, they're not going to invest in that. And a lot of times the government lays down the foundation and allows private enterprise to take advantage of it. And does private enterprise ever give them any credit? No. They're all like, oh, we did it. It was the market. The market did it. It was the individual. Bullshit. Oh, and nobody make any joke about Al Gore claiming to invent the internet. He never said that. Al Gore was saying, look, he was one of those people that believed in the internet and saw to getting the White House wired for the internet, but he never invented the internet. It's a friggin' right wing. They take people's words and twist them and create these things and repeat them so often that idiots that don't read and only listen to Fox News Radio believe this BS. Alter Ego said, I can't expect you to comment back. I understand. Heck, sometimes I get other things I completely drop what I'm doing, but I know you've been cool about visiting and giving encouragement. Yes, Alter Ego Trip. It's been experimenting a lot with using programs that create animation and then creating scripts and dubbing words in or dialogue. And she says, I just wanted to make sure you know that I appreciate it too. Be well. Thank you. Thank you, Alter Ego Trip. And O to be 16 against the totals, which I think he meant toodles.